Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of We Talk Talent series. Those who've been following us know through these series, we are bringing into the limelight the best practices in the TA space by speaking to TA leaders. Today, I have Ravi Sinha, the HR leader from Decathlon Sports India. Once again, hello, Ravi, and welcome to this show.
Hi, Pooja. Thank you so much.
Ravi, we understand in these challenging times, organizations must elevate the most important asset they have, that is the people. By focusing and rewriting the fundamentals of people strategy, namely leadership, culture, purpose, reskilling, and HR, of course. As a HR leader, first, I would like to know from you what has been your greatest learning in this last 1 year, and how has that set the precedence to rewrite the TA strategy for you?
Well, irrespective of the role that you have as an individual, you continue to learn. And I would say it is still going on. 2020, of course, with the kind of disruption it brought in our, let's say, in our life with regards to health crisis, which unfortunately is carrying on. There has been a lot of change and adaptability to, let's say, the next normal, which really something that we all embraced as we moved ahead with time. My best memories in terms of, I would say, learning is the never say die attitude of people if they are driven by a cause. What is very important that I saw at Decathlon is the fact that we all took care of each other. The spirit of solidarity, the team spirit that we often speak about, staying responsible and vigilant of each other, taking care of our customers and users, because we are into the space of health and well-being, and making sure that it is available, accessible for our customers in such trying times has been something that I really discovered that any crisis that we can face, if there is a strong purpose, if there is a very strong will, the teams, they really come together. The spirit of solidarity is really something which is very, very strong. And of course, the fact that we want to survive, and the survival instinct really pushes us to innovate, to really adapt to changes, to embrace the new, the normal, not just in our personal lives, but also in our professional lives, the way we work, the way we interact with our teams, with the way we actually, we are talking about talent, recruitment of talent, development of people, engagement, all of it. That is something that I learned, that nothing is fixed. We just have to continue to focus on what is the big ambition, what is the main purpose, what is the real driver. And if our intent is right, there are many people who is going to join the forces.
Very true, Ravi. And I feel, with your brand, I feel your brand story is easy to reach out to masses because, being a sports brand, everybody knows, what it associates with, team spirit and sportsman spirit. But how are you conveying your, greater purpose, your brand story to the general market, to the talent in the market? So what are your sources to communicate that story that you stand for?
That's a very interesting question. And I would like to answer it by not talking to you about the tool, because we learned in 2020 that a lot of tools can quickly get obsolete and you have to adopt to the new ones. But the two aspects which really helped us talk about who we are, what we do, the sincerity with which we do things, is our own teammate, because they are working with us. They became the, I would say, the guardian of the temple. They became the custodian of the brand, and they propagated the sense and the idea behind the brand, which really has been very useful. It's something which is very, very important. And the second is our customer and our users. When they see that there is a lot of sincerity in whatever we do with regards to really developing the sport at core, they participated in talking about the brand and Decathlon brand, not just in terms of shopping experience, but also how we actually work with our colleagues, how we treat our people, the responsibility that we have towards health, hygiene, safety, security, but also very interesting elements around bringing technology into shopping experience, making it much faster, better, safer, all these aspects. So our teams and our customers, they play a very crucial role. And 2020, and still it continues, that they are continuing to play a very crucial role and very important role in talking about who we are, what we do, and we are very proud of it.
Sure, Ravi. So, what is your succession planning strategy? Because I believe your brand is growing.
Yeah.
It has an exponential growth in the last 4 to 5 years, and you're opening new centers, and with your online shopping going on full swing. So, how are you managing talent and taking care that you have a great succession planning strategy ahead to meet all your talent requirement?
So I'll answer it to you by, helping you understand about our value. We have four values, out of which two of them really resonates about this succession planning. One is about the value of responsibility, and the second is the value of generosity. In addition to these two, we also have the value of vitality and authenticity. Now, whenever we talk about succession planning at Decathlon, we are always encouraged to hire somebody who is better than us. And that's something really pushes the boundary. It really pushes the bar in order to get right people onboarded and then take care of them. So it's not just recruitment, it's also to take care of them, their learning, their development, their ecosystem, their growth, their fairness in terms of remuneration, and how they are doing in their career. We really applaud leaders in Decathlon, and we do it quite loud. We celebrate the success, we celebrate the human victories. And whenever a manager is promoting their team member, it's something which is one of the most outstanding, let's say, contribution to the company. Because at the end of the day, the human victory is the most important victory. In terms of the technique, in terms of, let's say, how we proceed, every leader through their annual meetings, biannual meetings, they often propose that, who could possibly replace them, where there is a lot of individual discussion, collective feedback, which is based on the behavior aspect and also the knowledge. And we take a lot of care in how the behavioral aspect can continue to grow, and the competency, thanks to the ecosystem of, let's say, some experts in some topics, or giving an opportunity, asking somebody to change the geography from India, maybe move to France, to Germany, to UK, go there to these countries, bring some talent in our country. So this kind of exchange is something which is very, very useful for us to prepare our succession planning. And third, the most important element is actually doing it. 95% and a bit more, I would say, leadership position is fulfilled by Decathlonians. There are 1,600 stores in almost 60 countries across the world. And I'm very proud to say that all of them are Decathlonians. That means they are the leaders who really propagate the sense of the company, the purpose. They are the ones who really understand the value and the culture, and they really develop the team ahead. So this kind of mindset of creating the possibility for a team to really grow in the responsibilities, develop themselves, think beyond their level of education, beyond their level of experience, helps us to push the boundary a bit higher. And that's how we are able to do the succession planning.
Amazing, Ravi. It really sounds very interesting and very promising. The kind of retention and succession planning that you are fostering in your organization. At this point, any numbers would you be able to throw with respect to the attrition you've seen in last 1 year?
In fact, the attrition last year has been much lower compared to how it was a few years ago. We definitely, when we compare with the Indian retail industry, we are at least 10, 12 points below what the general market is in the retail. Within Decathlon worldwide ecosystem, we have come a long way in terms of reducing our attrition as well. At the beginning of Decathlon story in India, in fact, I'm not ashamed to say that we were doing a lot of mistakes in our hiring, because somewhat propagating a message through just a few people was not enough. We were not really able to hire, or our managers were really young to, get into the intricacies of the behavioral aspect, etc., etc. But over a period of time, with understanding of the culture of the company, who we are, even for us Indians, because Decathlon is a very strong French brand, but we have quite Indianized it now. In this aspect, understanding about the ethos, the values, and then propagating it to teams that we hired, it really created a very strong force, which eventually helped us reduce our attrition. So we are, our ambition is to be really around 10-15% of the attrition and not more than that in the industry, which I imagine is something which is quite inspiring. None of our store leaders, they leave the job, which is very, very useful because they have a beautiful career ahead of them. So that's something which is what we are working on, and it has been useful for us in the last few years.
Interesting. So you talked about, the French influence in your culture. So what aspect of the French influence is, paramount in your organization's culture, and how have you been able to, bring the local thing and kind of have an integrated culture, what we call local culture?
So I would say, a few years ago, the chairman of our company was in India, and he said that Decathlon is equal to India and India is equal to Decathlon. I think the very fact that we smile a lot, we have got a lot of energy, which any sport people they would have. That's something which is really, which really resonates with the culture of Indian people, but also the culture of Decathlon. And when you speak about the, let's say, the Frenchness, I guess it's about our ambition to have a healthy lifestyle, the spirit of working together, have a, work hard and play hard, such kind of mantra is something that we have really imbibed in our culture. I mean, we celebrate our, as I told you, we celebrate a lot of mini victories, big victories as well in the company. And in many sense, I would say Decathlon has taken a lot from India, with the spirit of, let's say, the sense of service that we have in India, the sharing that we do as well. I mean, we have often been acknowledged by our global counterparts on the spirit of how Indians have really created a huge mark in the Decathlon network, and also imbibing some of the best practices, especially with the understanding of the sport, which essentially we lacked a few years ago, but now I think as a country we are getting better.
Very interesting, Ravi. Ravi, what is your strategy to hire the entry level employees? Because I believe a large chunk of your hiring must be for the retail stores that you have, as well as maybe for the back end internet work that because to run your e-commerce platform. So, what is your strategy to hire the masses?
I explained it, the very fact that a teammate is able to propagate the sense and the message in, let's say, their local network. That itself is a very important strategy, and we pay a lot of attention to that. That when somebody is joining from, let's say, I'm based out of Bangalore and somebody is from Chandigarh, how do they feel about Decathlon? Because that's what they are going to talk about their friends, and they are going to talk to their friends, families, colleagues, college mates, etc. So that's something, the strong internal branding about people is something which we are very, very careful about. We pay a lot of attention to the detail in what we are speaking around. Then second, very important strategy for us is we are a very decentralized organization. Our organization really believes in the spirit of local subsidiarity. So subsidiarity means when you are in front of the customer, you take the final call. So let's say a store leader who is in Dehradun is going to hire a bunch of hikers, some cyclists. So they're not going to depend on Ravi Sinha from Bangalore. They are going to make their own choices, because they are facing the customers day in, day out, the ones who are in that part of the country. And hence they are free to do their recruitment. We spend a lot of time in training our team to understand better our culture, who we are, our values, our purpose. We also have a team of, we call them Decathlon Exchange, where they spend a lot of time in explaining the sense behind the company, the why behind our actions. So recruitment is an action, but there is a lot of sense behind that recruitment. So we spend a lot of time doing these kind of virtual training programs. But a few years ago we were doing a lot of classroom trainings. We do a lot of on-field trainings as well, by calling a candidate, recruiting together, making sure that the younger person really understands how to recruit, the way we recruit, we want to recruit. So this also really helps us. So our employer branding becomes very crucial. Our decentralization becomes very crucial. And then the third, the fact that we can make a slight mistake, but we measure. We have a very strong, let's say, the culture of measurement of our performance. So we measure what we do. If we are hiring, what is the the recruitment rate? What is the diversity when we recruit people? Because we have a very strong emphasis on gender diversity as well. We are really improving on this part as well. How are we doing in terms of training people in their first 6 months? Because a lot of people, can leave within the first 6 months or their probation period. So we do a very strong measurement, and we analyze a lot of data, which we actually share it with the leaders locally for them to take better and better decisions. So I would say it's an ongoing process. I'm not saying that we have cracked it. We have recruited a bunch of amazing people, but we have also made a few mistakes in our hiring. But the very fact that we rely and trust the knowledge and the wisdom of the leader who is hiring a lot, and then measure the performances, really makes a lot of difference.
So I understand referrals play a very important role in sourcing talent in
It does.
decathlons. Second thing is that what about using digital tools like ATS, applicant tracking system, or those AI ML enabled digital tools? Do you have a partner that helps you with your hiring? And what are the metrics you use to assess the success of your hiring?
It is, as we speak, we are in the process of development of the, let's say, the analytics in the prediction of the general environment in the team. How do they feel? How are we hiring people? What are their feeling likes? So as we speak, we are developing on this aspect. We have not done it yet. We have not championed this project. We feel now that there is such a strong need to get better. We really believe that technology can bring a lot of efficiency. I mean, we learned it quite strongly last year as well, and we can do it at scale. So such realizations really push the barrier. We have been having quite strong analytics and the metrics in terms of performance management. When I say performance management, just in talent acquisition itself, we have got the number of people that we have hired, where we have hired from, their the retention by each site that we actually work with. Such things have been measured since a few years, but now we really understand the importance, the kind of scalability and efficiency that technology can bring into what you just now mentioned with application tracking system, in terms of also digitally connecting with our, let's say, the prospective team members.
Heard you say that diversity is a very serious agenda, which it's a cause that you want to work for at the organizational level. So, Ravi, generally with Decathlon, I have seen that in your store, the number of female employees are far fewer than male employees.
Generally communicate in our community about, let's say, the importance of job for a man or a woman. We have projects that we work with school children, where we work with them through the medium of sports on such topics. I would say that we can do much better, but it's not a question. I definitely don't see a question, because there are more cyclists or more men trekkers. I mean, there is Bichandri Pal, and we have Saina Nehwal, and we have a few of them in-house as well, with triathletes and footballers, state level footballer, weightlifter, you name it. And every sport, we have some fantastic, leaders, women leaders in the company. So I would say it's a big part of our work in progress. We are very consciously working towards the direction of creating the right environment. In some places, it can be, let's say, a bit challenging. I have worked myself in Delhi, and I know that sometimes some women and men as well, they really speak a lot about things around them, situation around them. with regards to safety, security. So how can we create that kind of atmosphere where our teams, they can feel really safe to work with Decathlon? And I'm very, very proud of women and men in Decathlon to really move in this direction. I think we have made a steady progress in last few years. We have quite a lot of women leaders, and a lot of them are now working for Decathlon in other countries as well. And maybe just a few years down the line, you'll be proud to see a few more. I'm very, very optimistic about it.
Sure, Ravi. And also, do you have people from other countries coming and working in Decathlon stores in India?
Yes, yes. I mean, as I mentioned, that we are a family-owned business, Pooja. The spirit of being a part of one family is something which is very important. So we change our houses, but the family remains one Decathlon. And that's something which is very unique to us. I mean, it's something which we are very proud of, this fact that a decathlonian from India and a decathlonian in, let's say, in Jakarta or in San Francisco or in Paris, they have same wavelength in terms of the purpose to propagate. And we encourage a lot of people to have this kind of geographical movements.
Yeah, and I feel globalization has a key role to play in innovation. So, this cross-country movement is definitely going to be great for the brand. And let me tell you that I'm a big fan of Decathlon, and I feel that there was a void in this space, where you could go to one place and get all your sporting requirements. I think Decathlon kind of filled that space very well. And with that, Ravi, we come to an end of this video interview, and I wish you all the best because you're a growing company. And like you said, that you are in the process of automating your talent acquisition process. And there have been mistakes, and you've learned from your mistakes, but your spirit, your culture is so strong that you will emerge stronger, more agile, and innovative, and so better prepared to respond to any changing situation in the ecosystem.
It's like the life of any sports person, whether it is a famous cricketer or a footballer or an athlete, they continue to keep improving their game. And we have the same spirit. The idea is to really challenge our own past best records. And we are very lucky that our ecosystem, our fraternity, within Decathlon, but also our customers and community outside Decathlon, they really push this boundary. And we are very, very glad, and we are very happy and very excited to, to continue to move in this direction. And I'm sure that the situation that we are in right now, sport is essential, and Decathlon is really creating that kind of, let's say, a movement as well. And we are very happy to partner with our local communities to make sure that this continues.
So thank you, viewers. Thank you for watching this episode. Thank you, Ravi. And please be tuned to our channel to watch the other episodes of We Talk Talent series as we cover talent acquisition exclusively in these interviews. Thank you.